My name is Esther Amoako, and I'm presenting on the topic Who Patronizes Agrotourism, Analysis of the Spatial Patterns and Motivations of Agrotourists in Southwest Michigan. The study follows this outline. So the number of farms involved in agricultural tourism has increased over the past decade, and the revenue coming from agrotourism also tripled between 2002 to 2017. And the graph on our right here is the USDA's graph showing the revenue increase between the period. And in Michigan, agriculture and tourism are the second and the third industry, employing about 22% of the workforce. Agricultural tourism is any visit to a working or non-working farm for enjoyment or education of the tourist that yields income to the owner. So agricultural tourism is both demand and supply driven. However, existing literature often focuses on the supply side, which deals with the service providers and agrotourism operators who supply the services to the tourists. And they often focuses on the economic contributions of agrotourism. There is little studies that focuses on agrotourism motivations from the demand side. And also in Michigan, considering the contribution of agriculture and tourism, the full potential from agrotourism is not harnessed because farmers and agrotourism operators have limited information about their consumer market. So this study seeks to explore the demographic characteristics of agrotourists in Southwest Michigan and also understand the spatial patterns of agrotourist flow and examine the motivations of agrotourists in Southwest Michigan. And this will contribute so much to existing literature on agrotourism and also provide useful information for industry players to better serve the needs of agrotourists. The study was conducted in Southwest Michigan because this region has a good mix of all agrotourism activities taking place in Michigan, including cider mills to wineries, you-pick activities, fruits and vegetables, and the National Blueberry Festival is also held here, and this region also falls within the fruit belt. So the main source of data for the study was through field work. The study adopted quantitative analysis to understand the motivations of agrotourists. So the survey instrument had both open-ended and closed-ended questions, as well as Likert scale questions. The survey was adopted and modified from previous studies to suit the study objectives. The study employed convenience sampling to select 200 samples for the study, and at the end of the data cleaning, 184 samples were valid and included in the analysis. Zip codes of agrotourists were geocoded using Google Sheet Awesome table, and the output was exported as CSV file, which was further used in ArcGIS Desktop 10.7. The spatial analysis consisted of spatial and attribute joint, as well as queries and overlays. In terms of statistical analysis, the study employed descriptive statistics, reliability test, and principal component analysis using SPSS 2.6. So the results show that more females participated in agrotourism, and then the age group were those above 61 years, which happens to be the senior population. Most of the tourists were married and had at least a bachelor's degree. In terms of their travel behavior, most of the tourists were residents of Michigan. They traveled a distance of 0 to 25 miles and spent at least a night. And their main source of information about the attraction site was through referral. So the principal component analysis was employed to identify the underlying structures defining agrotourism motivation and also to minimize multicollinearity that may exist among the motivational variables. So in all, 13 motivational variables were included in the factor analysis, and we were expecting factor loadings above 0.5. So all the factor loadings met this criteria, so no variable was left out of the analysis. So after the PCA analysis, 3 factor components were discovered, which explains 61.08% of the variance. The first categories of agrotourism motivation can be classified as agricultural experience. We had adventure, quality of life and relationships, and relaxation. So what the alpha reliability test does is that it tests the internal consistencies of these 3 factor component that we got from the CPA, and we are looking for numbers above 0.7, and as we can see here, all my alpha values were above 0.7, which shows that factor analysis is valid for this type of study. The KMO was also adequate, and then the Bartlett test was also significant. In terms of the motivations of agrotourists, the main motivation is to relax mentally or enjoy life. However, to learn how to use agricultural produce had the least average. In terms of spatial distribution of agrotourists, most of the tourists were from Michigan and then Illinois, with few people coming from Indiana, Ohio, and Wisconsin. So focusing on just Michigan, the graph shows that most of the tourists to Southwest Michigan are from the same area that the study was conducted, specifically Kalamazoo County, Van Buren County, and Kent County. So in summary, the main motivations of agrotourism is to relax mentally or enjoy life, followed by enjoy the scenery or to be together with family. And then there is the agrotourism motivation can be categorized under 3 broad groups, including relaxation, agricultural experiences, and adventure, quality of life, and relationships. Also, looking at the spatial distribution of agrotourists, most of the tourists were Michiganders, and with few number coming from Chicago, which actually is contradictory to what agrotourists in Southwest Michigan believe. They believe that their visitors come from Chicago, from Illinois, from Indiana, and Ohio, which the study results doesn't prove, which the study results prove otherwise. So in recommendation, we suggest that all the motivational variables should be treated equally, and there is a need to design niche, there is a need to design promotion mix that emphasizes Michigan's competitive advantage in order to attract out-of-state visitors. There is also a need to also intensify marketing strategies using social media, mass media to create awareness about Michigan's unique offerings. And there's also a need also to provide less exhaustive activities for the senior population who dominates the agrotourism market in Southwest Michigan. The limitation of the study lies in the sampling design, the non-probability sampling, which limit generalization of the study results and also the sample size and the scale of analysis was small. There is a need for further studies that combines both qualitative and quantitative methods, and there's also a need to explore the challenges of the agrotourism industry. So in conclusion, I want to thank Western Michigan University for their financial support, my committee chair, Dr. Lucius Hallett, Dr. Lee Young, and Dr. Nicholas Pidela. I also want to thank Dr. Benjamin Oforiamoa and his wife for their tremendous support. I also want to thank the University of Toledo Department of Geography and Planning for making this presentation a reality. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to your questions and comments.